No. And also we had a presentation about different model of short food supply chain. We discussed a community supported agriculture, but also at the end of the last session, we discussed about the trap of far-right movement and being aware that food narrative is transformed in a discourse of exclusion and isolation. And if you remember that one of participants mentioned this political program from Lega Nord from Italy, sia la polenta no alla couscous. So today we will have three guests. Together with them, we'll try to analyze and to reflect how we can support the development of short food supply chain from different perspectives. We have Cristi Gherghicianu from ADEPT Foundation. ADEPT Foundation is one of the most experienced organizations in Romania, and it is the truth. And Cristi will talk more about their programs, having in mind the support of producers in order to develop short food supply chain. After that, we'll have an intervention of George Cățeanu. He wanted to be presented as a producer, and he has also a political experience because was state secretary in agriculture ministry in Romania. And he will talk and have some reflection and inputs about the role of public authorities in supporting short supply chain. And we'll have also with us Sergiu from Timișoara. And he will present different programs that we organized in Timișoara in order to create awareness and education for consumers, having in mind that it's very important in order to develop short food supply chain to have aware consumers. So we'll take the discussion having in mind programs for producers, the role of authorities, and programs for consumers. Before to ask Cristi to present himself, I just want to underline a little bit about the context. Also, Cristi and George, they are coming in this online session from Transylvania. Maybe some of you know that Transylvania is one of most important region in Europe in terms of biodiversity. And they had this job and this mission and this challenge to work in a very important area regarding biodiversity, combining programs, development programs, economical development programs, and also this preoccupation for conservation of biodiversity. So I wanted to have in mind this aspect when you listen their intervention, because it's very important. It's not an ordinary area. It's not so specific what they will present about entire Romania. So for the moment, I will stop here and I will ask Cristi to take the floor.
You are doing it so well. Maybe you can do my presentation.
No. No way. It's 20 years of work.
Minute de acolo.
Just 1 second to start the PowerPoint presentation. Share. PowerPoint presentation. Share. I hope it's working. I just need to start. So. You can see the presentation?
Yes.
Perfect. Yes. So thank you very much, Mihaela, for inviting me. Thank you very much for the introduction. So I'm Cristi Gherghicianu, working for Fundația ADEPT Transilvania, it's an NGO that yes, NGO that started in 2004 and initially started as biodiversity conservation in Sighișoara Târnava Mare, and you see the arrow. This is the Sighișoara Târnava Mare area. It's a Natura 2000 site right in the heart of Romania. And in the initial stage, we concentrated a lot on the biodiversity, and then after 6 months of working in the area, we realized that this rich biodiversity is because of the traditional management of the land. So, we need to blame the farmers for this rich biodiversity. So it's not nature or it's pristine biodiversity, it's a man-made biodiversity. So we thought, okay, we have this biodiversity that is done by the farmers or the traditional management of the farmers. And in order to keep it, somehow we need to continue to work with these farmers and to make sure that, I mean, the way to preserve such a big area, and I will just mention that it's 95,000 hectares, 30 small villages in 3 different counties in Romania. So it's quite a big area, and nobody will support you with money just to keep it for biodiversity. So the idea was to add to this biodiversity part of the foundation, to add rural development aspect as well. So we started working with farmers and trying to see what are the activities that are, let's say, from a financial point of view viable, but in the same time they are very friendly, biodiversity friendly activities. So coming to our subject, talking about the short food supply chain, we thought that, let's try to involve the people in different activities. And of course, not everybody can be involved in bed and breakfast, because you need, I don't know, language skills, you need accommodation that can be, I don't know, arranged for receiving tourists and so on. The idea was to try to involve people according to what they are best in their field. So, I don't know, accommodation, guides, food producers, and so on. So initially, I remember in 2006-05, so about 1 year after ADEPT Foundation was established and we started to work in Saskis, we decided to work with people. The initial idea was, okay, tourism. We need to promote the area, we need to receive tourism. But for tourism, we need people willing to accommodate tourists. And then in the same time, we need people to prepare food, because tourists are interested to see places, to see old churches, to walk in the forest, to walk in the hay meadows, but they need to eat at least twice a day, if not more. So this is how we started to think about food. How can we help people to produce food, to be able to sell it, and to be able to use it in their bed and breakfast? So coming back to our subject, on the short food supply chain, we identify three big components: acting as a mediator between small producers and local authorities, training and support for small producers, and encouraging innovation and collaboration with cultural tourism stakeholders. So, as you can imagine, the first and most important one was acting as a mediator between small producers and local authorities, because this was the big issue in our area. Was a gap of legislation, and everything was done for big industry. So there were no legislation for small industries, and this was quite a big challenge, because small producers, they are not able to do not even a couple of gems and sell it because they're supposed to fulfill strange rules. And somehow this was a perfect fit for what we were trying to do, because and we started to work with local authorities and trying to see how we can change this legislation. This, I can tell you, that was a big challenge. It took us about 4 years to change the legislation, and luckily now we have a legislation that has rules for small-scale farmer producers. We were trying to get all the information, I mean, trying to connect people, local producers with local authorities and European authorities. And I'm saying this because in most of the cases, the local authorities, they are blaming EU for all the rules and all the, let's say, problems. And reality is not true. And what we try to be very practical. So we identify a problem, and then we try to solve it, to sort it out at the Romanian level. And then if it's not working, we try to see if the EU legislation is so strict. And in most of the cases, with all the models or all the I don't know, pilot projects, we went to Brussels. They were very happy with the design and everything we wanted to do. But they mentioned that if the national authority decides to put extra stuff on the legislation, they have no saying. The European institution, they have no saying into what Romanian wants to put on top. So we realized that we need to work a lot. We need to work a lot with the Romanian authorities and trying to change their mentalities. And was about small-scale producers and trying to set up some limits up to, because Romanian authorities, they are crazy about limits. They need to know exactly the limits. And in the food brochures that we developed together with some help from other two NGOs in Romania, we established some limits and some minimum food hygiene conditions for small producers in order for them to sell. We've been involved in a lot of projects, and all the projects that we are writing, so European projects, Horizon 2020, LIFE projects, and other projects, we are trying to include issues that we want to solve, issues that we identify as problems in the area. And one of the project was these geographical indication products, was a project financed by Swiss funding, and we identify and help the Ministry of Agriculture to register more geographical indication products, but not necessarily only from our area, but at the national level. And this was quite a good way to, let's say, to get closer to Ministry of Agriculture. And then another opportunity was to create Saskis Community Food Processing Unit. This was a project for social enterprises. And the idea was to build a kitchen that has all the facility and to help small producers, instead of them investing in their kitchens in order to get authorization, they were able to come in our community kitchen to process their fruits and vegetables, and then they were able to sell it because they were produced in a let's say authorized premises. So Saskis Community Food Processing Unit is still working, is still on. There are less people using it because meanwhile the legislation changed, and for small agricultural products you need only a very simple authorization, and then you can sell it locally quite easily. And I'm talking about, you know, primary production, let's say, eggs, milk, fruits, vegetables, and so on, the legislation it's easier for these people, of course, to a certain limit, as I mentioned earlier. So quite a lot of work with local authorities, and this is also because there are different authorities and they have different rules. And I can give you one example. If you are ecotourism company providing bed and breakfast, according to the Ministry of Tourism, you need to put on table at least 50% of the food that you put on table for tourists should come from your farm or neighboring farms. And then you have the Consumer Protection Agency. They don't understand the tourism, or sorry, they use a different set of rules. And when they come to check, they want to see eggs with the stamp. They want to see all sorts of documents for all the products that you put on the table. So this was another issue that we are still trying to solve, trying to put the ministries together when they try to promote a new law, trying to make sure that all the ministries, they have the same understanding and the same way of implementing legislation. So training and support for small producers. Of course, you know, being a young democracy and trying to learn how to do things, there were a lot of information needed. So we started initially with training for bed and breakfast. And I remember this was again 2005, 2006. Was only one curricula for this kind of training, including all sorts of things like history of accounting. You need to, they suppose the people receiving guests in these agrotourism businesses, they're supposed to know how to drive a tractor, how to use the seeder and so on. Very strange, let's say, materials they're supposed to learn. And we decided to do it differently and to go to people's place, to see the rooms, to explain what is needed, what is not needed. To us, we asked them to prepare breakfast or lunch or dinners, to see exactly what they are using. And was very interesting because, I remember very well one breakfast, we arrived in one place in Saskiz, and they bought all the stuff from Metro supermarket because they thought that tourists, they really want, you know, supermarket products. And they were very, I don't know, surprised to find out that, you know, we were looking for tomatoes from your garden, eggs from your chickens, and so on. So was a lot of learning, and as I mentioned earlier, it's very important to do it on premises, not on PowerPoints, not on flip chart. You need to do it on spot, trying in the kitchen, cooking, arranging a bed, arranging a room, and so on. And the information is passed much quicker this way, at least from our experience. So we've done different trainings on agro-environment policies and incentives. Why agro-environment? Because we wanted to help them to gain a little bit of trust, because usually the NGOs in that period, they were regarded as established only to import cars from Germany. And importing cars from Germany as an NGO, this means that there were no tax on the cars. So we wanted to make sure that they trust us, and we help them to get agro-environment payments. And this was an impact in the entire community. And then we worked on the food hygiene, food production, marketing, rural tourism. So everything that is linked with tourism and food production, but in a very practical way. I mentioned earlier the minimum food hygiene and food safety condition for small producers. So a very, very simple booklet, because this is another big issue. You know, ministries, they always say it's on the website, check it there. But sometimes even for us, it's difficult to understand what they want to say. So the language and the way they put it and the link with other I don't know, laws and so on, sometimes it's very difficult even for us to understand what they are trying to do. So we are also acting as a translator between, you know, ministry's document and community with local farmers and bed and breakfast providers. So we had a big campaign in 2008, publishing this booklet and spread it with the help of the food safety authorities in Romania, in all the country. We also developed a lot of other activities. You know, people complain about the fact that big companies, they were putting a lot of pressure on the price for milk. And then with the help with some Norwegian funds, we built 8 milk collection centers in the 8 communes that are part of our area. And they were managed by the local communities. So they were selling the milk to the company that was offering the best price. So giving a little bit of flexibility and not being under pressure all the time. And again, working with them in milk hygiene, and this was also very interesting because every time you talk about things like organic farming certification, milk hygiene, they always make the link with food safety authorities being difficult, very bureaucratic, and so on. And what we were trying to do was to, you know, trying to avoid things like, you know, cover the bucket with of milk on the way to the milk collection center, just cover it with a lid or a piece of cloth, and trying to deliver the milk as quick as possible. And this reduced a lot the problems with the milk quantity, and then a better milk quality. A better milk quality means also better payment. As I mentioned, you know, the increased incomes, and also it's very important. This is at least what I learned in school, is that it's very good to diversify the income, not to put all the eggs in the same in one basket. So trying to diversify. So you have agriculture, you sell some milk, you have 2 or 3 rooms available for tourists. You can also produce some, I don't know, jam syrups, and you can sell it. So you have different source of income. And in the same time, this rich biodiversity in the area provided with a lot of fruits that are unknown for quite a lot of tourists from abroad. I don't know, you know, just an example, Cornelium cherry jam. You know, it's a very interesting fruit with a big stone inside. It's a lot of vitamin C. Not a lot of people know this product, or I don't know, rosehip jam, and so on. So trying also to teach them about the fact that this rich biodiversity can provide a lot of products for what they need in their day-to-day activities. We developed different brands. The first one, Târnava Mare, was the initial brand for Sighișoara Târnava Mare. One of the reasons why we have the name Târnava Mare. It's in the basin of the Târnava Mare River. And then Fruleco was the logo developed under the social enterprise activity. And then the last one, the High Nature Value logo. The intention was to do it at the national level on the areas that are high nature value. So under agro-environment payments, there is this one payment for high natural value grasslands, and the idea was to create a brand that it's linked with these areas. But it's very difficult to implement because the ministry is changing these areas every 5 years. They do a lot of changes, and was very difficult to implement it at the national level. But we didn't abandon the idea yet. Adding value, trying to deliver benefits to a wider society. So having clean, keeping the area clean, we can provide fresh air, fresh, good water, lots and lots of things that are very interesting for people abroad. I don't know. We organize a lot of bird watching, butterfly watching, flower watching. So even though a lot of people, they don't, I mean, now they know the importance, but I remember before nobody was interested. They thought it's normal to have all this biodiversity and they couldn't see the value of it. And these days, they see, and we have quite a lot of questions about different plants, how to eradicate invasive species and things like this. So it takes a lot of time to change the minds of local people, but we have good examples, we have bad examples. For the moment, we have more good examples than bad examples, but you know, it's for the moment it's a good balance. So food production, food security, you know, trying to go deeper into I don't know, information about local products and the nutrition and tasty food. So trying to add more layers and more marketing tools for to promote local products and services. Some examples of jams and syrups in the right. We tried something new, was just, you know, sitting around the table in one evening, having a glass of beer. And then we thought, okay, we are invited to a big fair in Paris. Let's try something new. Try to have a product to catch the eye and make people to come to ask about us. And the idea was to have handmade glasses, handmade oak frames, I don't know, silver spoon. And the idea behind was, you know, if you support the project with €1 per day for 1 year, so the product was €360, you can have this product. And initially was a very good catch. You know, everybody was asking about it. Everybody wanted to know where the product is coming from, wanting to get more information about the area. But then later on, we got a lot of, I don't know, bad feedback. Crazy people, you know, they want to sell the jam for €365 a jar. They are crazy. So, you know, we decided to leave this behind, but still was a very good thing to make people aware and to ask questions about the area. Of course, we used to have a lot of high public figures visiting the area, trying the products. Very, very good promoter of local products. And I can tell you that he likes a lot the brandy, plum brandy. He's a big fan of plum brandy. Organizing a lot of fairs, Bucharest, because it's a much bigger market, but also in other areas in Romania, trying to promote products and services that they can find in Romania. And the first one was in the Romanian Peza Museum in Bucharest. big success. Learn a lot how to do things. And then we try to involve also chefs from the area, trying to, I don't know, add some extra flavors using local ingredients, or I don't know, different arrangements on the plate for the same products. So trying to bring it up to I don't know, new people, trying to rearrange a little bit the local products. And there are some examples from Bazna Pig Festival. Lots of brochures, trying to, gather local recipes, trying to integrate it in the tourism strategy for the area. Lots of stories. More products, more leaflets. All the leaflets, if you are interested, most of them are English and Romanian, and you can find them on our website if you are interested to see them. And encouraging innovation and collaboration with culture and tourism stakeholders. So trying to engage and trying to work out how to integrate the products in local businesses. And what I can tell you is that the biggest buyer in the area now, it's Prince Charles House. They have it's open for visitors, and they have a shop, and they buy a lot of stuff from us. And also a restaurant that is based in Viskri. So we realized that this is the way to go forward, to work with local businesses and trying to promote local products within a certain area. It's easy from logistic point of view. We also developed different activities. Transylvania Bike Trails. It's 100 kilometers of mountain bike trails in the area, linking different villages with the main city of Sighișoara. And every year we have a big race that gathers more than 1,200 people at the start of the race. And again, they need food. Sometimes a lot of local connections are made with all these people visiting the area. And before they leaving, they buy quite a lot of local products like, I don't know, cheeses, fruits, preserves, syrups, and so on. There are different initiatives in the area and trying to be part of them. Know your food, know where it comes from, peasant food for modern people. So, trying to be up to date with what is new on the market, what tourists want, what consumers wants to see. Organizing different festivals linked with a certain product. So this is Bazna, a pig, not big. It's Bazna Pig. Sorry for the misspell. Festival, and Rhubarb Festival in Saskiz, and then trying to link it with culture events as well, like Haferland. Haferland, it's a big event in the area trying to promote Saxon tradition, because this area used to be a Saxon area, and trying to to share the customs, dancing, food, culture, and so on. And then the next step in our case was to create collaboration. So doing a farmers association or farmers groups, and there are two farmers groups in the area. One is Bucate din Proximitate, and one is Bucate din Vecinătate, meaning the same thing, working together, promoting the products together. Different schemes, both scheme deliver every week or every 2 weeks. Or the group in Saskiz, they have a food trailer, and they sell their products in Sighișoara through the food trailer. We have also an association, Colline Transilvania. It's an ecotourism destination now, was recognized by the Ministry of Tourism. and this association is promoting the area a lot. Again, we need food, we need good products, we need good experience for people visiting the area. So we do a lot of policy work. We are members of the National Rural Development Plan, trying to bring the experience from the ground to the legislators. This is again something very, very important to be done, because what we noticed in the past, a lot of laws or a lot of programs, they are designed in their offices without knowing the reality on the ground. So we've done all sorts of things: workshop, accredited courses, mentorship, study visits. I think study visits, they were the most interesting ones, because I remember going to Torino to Slow Food event. There were farmers. We took 4 farmers from our area, and I remember it was so difficult to make them to prepare some jams for this event, because their idea was, who is buying jams? Everybody is producing jams. And then the idea of going to this big event, Slow Food event in Torino, was very, very helpful, because they had the chance to test some other products, and they were coming back with, but our jams are much better. Next time we should come with traditional costumes. We need to prepare the stand differently. So was the perfect thing to make the click in the minds of the people. So challenges, of course, interpretation of EU national legislation by local authorities. In some areas, it's like the example that I mentioned at the beginning of the project. We have these local gastronomic points. We have plenty of them in the neighboring counties, and we have only one in Mureș County. And this is only because how the local authorities are, interpretation of the legislation by the Mureș County. Local food safety authorities impose same regulation. I mean, what is happening, they see a big company with everything in place, and then they expect to see the same stuff in all the producer, doesn't matter the size. And another big one, it's the lack of advisory structure in general. So we don't have this agricultural chambers system in Romania. So if you know somebody who knows how to deal with things, it's fine. Otherwise, there is no place where you can get all this information. So results, collaborative approach, more proactive, better understanding of the legislation. So, working together and not trying to impose things, but working together. And also, I think the best lesson for me and for us as ADEF Foundation was that at the beginning, we were trying to push people. Let's do it. And then the result was not as expected, because people, they were expecting to be pushed and helped all the time. And we changed the way of doing it, and we decided that, we promote, we can help, and then if somebody needs help, they should come to our place, and we need to see some willingness to get advices. Oh, I think I talk too much, yes? I just realized it's very late.
It's
Thank you
okay.
very much. And if you have any questions, I'm around.
Thank you, Christy. And I'd like to encourage you, if you have some questions or remarks.
Hello, I may have a question. Hello.
Please, Francesca.
since my connection freezed twice or 3 times, this topic may have been already addressed, but I try and make the question anyway. I wanted to know about the fundings. How did you find the fundings for all these initiatives? I connect from a makerspace, despite the differences, the appearance of differences between making food, growing food and consuming food, and making furniture and digital manufacturing. I feel many resonances in your experience with ours. So this speech to us was very useful, and I would like to know, especially the last observation you made about not pushing, not pulling too much people. I could say the same about creatives, being so individualist, but also in a good way, not all in a bad way. I always have to relate with their expectations, needs, declared needs, perceived needs, and so on. So thank you for this example. Again, I would like to know, how did you fund and get the financements for all these initiatives? Thank you.
Yes, we've been let's say very lucky with funding. We got initially was a Darwin Initiative money. Romania was eligible for UK government Darwin Initiative program, and because my colleague it's still an English person, and he knew somebody who knew somebody, the CEO of Orange Romania. We got the co-funding, and this was very important. The start was very important, and I can see a lot of new organizations struggling at the beginning, because if you go to a bigger company, they want to see some results before they want to see, that you have some background, you have some history in order for them to finance you. So this was a very important start. Darwin Initiative, an Orange company, mobile phone company. And then we started from there and trying to develop, and then we got Norwegian funds, Swiss funds, and then we started with Horizon 2020, life projects. We've been successful with Rousing Trust. It's a funding stream for NGOs, and we've been very lucky to get support for core funding. So most of the NGOs, they struggle to get this core funding. We've been very lucky to get some core funding from this NGO. And also we developed some business activities. We have a farm, we bought some land, we have a farm, we try to earn some money from the farm. We have the food production unit. So trying to cover at least a part of co-financing needed for European funds from our own sources.
Clear. Thank you.
If you have other questions for Christy, or if you have some comments, you can write on the chat, and I will propose you to go to George presentation. George is preparing the place.
Yeah, I just observe it's gonna be too much light, so I don't want to be in shape.
I'm here to help with the presentation, George.
Okay, thank you very much, Michaela.
Excuse me, Michaela, can you just put it in a bigger screen so we can read everything? Yeah.
It's good now?
No, with the presentation icon, you can use, you have a down and right.
Right.
No, we're not seeing anymore. Sorry.
Now?
Yeah, perfect. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
So everything is set, so we can start. Okay, before to talk about my topics, which I prepared for this meeting, I will have to say a few words about my activity and also about our farm. As Michaela said at the beginning, I'm a farmer. We have a family farm, which means like 6th generation of sheep breeding, cows for milk and cheese production in the mountain area of Transylvania. We started from the beginning, or we continue from long time to make short chain, because otherwise we was not so available to survive. And because we are making short chain, that means added value is keeping in the company. And we are very happy in this way, because also a proofment of this option is that we are not using credits. All the money which we are using just the money we are making in the company, and of course subsidies from CAP and investment funds from the National Strategy Plan, which we have today. We are not such a big farm. We have around 1,500 sheep, 120 cows, and we are using around 300 hectares of land. It's not a big farm, but it's important because we are doing integrated. So all the milk which we are producing, we make in cheese and we sell by ourselves on our private chain. So before continue my career, also I was involved in the government in 2021 as a technocrat person, and I was working in the Ministry of Agriculture as a state secretary for the food industry and mountain area. And to start my presentation, it's about financial tools. I have few topics, but first topic it's about financial tools. An overview of available financial instruments, including the management of funds through local action groups. You know what it means, local action groups. I think you have all these 27 countries, which is member of European Union, have local action group. And one of the pillars of the CAP and of the National Strategy Plan today, it's supporting the short food chain. And in Romania, we have two options. First option, it's let's say one measure which is part of National Strategy Plan and can support you with 250,000 euro if you're gonna make a partnership between let's say small farmers, producers. Maybe you can put also local authority, you can put also non-governmental organization, and you can have this money almost up to 220,000 euro per project, and it's going to be to support the short chain and to make, let's say, this kind of things, which is going to be short way between consumer and producer. And the same measure we have also in local action group strategy. And of course, there is not 250,000 euro, it's less, it's 100,000 euro. But when people ask why should I go to local action group or should I go to national competition, it's about competition. And sometimes by local action group, you have like criteria which is going to be helpful for you as a local farmer or local producer to ask for this money, and it's going to be more easy because what we discovered, because we are a new country in European Union, let's say we are only from 2007, and at the beginning we have a lot of money which was not spending, but now we have all the money, which is all the calls which are open to financing project are overbooked. I mean, it's like 2-3 times more project than the budget. So it's going to be start to be very, very tough, and the big competition was going to be the winner. So this is about the financial and non-financial instruments which have. This is about the financial instruments which we have for the short chain, and it's in contact with CAP, Common Agricultural Policy. So we have National Strategy Plan with 220,000 euro, and we have 100,000 euro, which is going to be by local action group. When we talk about non-financial instruments, in my vision, sometimes it's more important and they are more stronger than the financial instruments. Even if you don't have money in the pocket or in the hand, you're gonna have all the instruments, which is gonna be like the gates and open doors for everything. So for me, because also I am coordinating a local cooperativa with the young farmers. it's about to have the chance to give them access to the market and to give the real price for what they are doing. So we are using quality schemes, and this is about labels. So we have national schemes and we have international recognized schemes. And for national schemes or national labels, we have mountain products, certificate traditional products, and dedicated receipt. And for the international recognized quality schemes, of course, we have ecological product, which is all over the countries. We have the IGs, indication of geographic protected. And this is about how to use this as an instrument to make added value and to have place on the market, because this is the way you have to see these labels. And of course, don't forget, we have annual program, Enjoy is from Europe, which is going to be, I think now it's open. It's going to be until April 20, I think, or 23. The session open to get this money to promote and to have access to the market on not only European market, also the international market for the European products. So when we talk, we are talking, and what is very important for us, the quality schemes, because for example, we was like 12 years ago, the first farmers which had local corner in Carrefour. Carrefour is a big supermarket, and they are started the project and they invited small farmers to be part of the shop. And we because we was certificated like traditional product and organic farm, we was invited and to be part of the shop with our shelf. And for today, of course, it's good, but in the same time, it's not so good. Today, we are selling by Carrefour up to 70% of the production, and it's very, of course, it's good, but sometimes it's a risk because you put all the eggs in just only one basket. So this is about second. Green public procurement, yes, they are very, very important. And thinking about what we have in Romania, we have 1.9 million of children which are in public schools, and they have this opportunity to have access to the milk, fruits, vegetables, and bakery by the scholar programs which are distribute this in school. So in 2023, we had by this project, because they have to let's say to body this project have two body. The first body is about the food, and second body of the project is about the educational measures, which is every year for the kids and is paid by Common Agriculture Policy. In 2023, we had around 7,000 students which visited our farm, and it was because the Brașov City Hall wanted to do this. And what they changed, they in starting with 2023, they start to deliver in the school organic milk, organic fruits, and local pastry. And this was very, very good. And they just broke the ice in this way, because many they don't talk about the price of the products, they talking about the quality of the products, and most of them was coming from the local producer. And the second way of this project, it was like the educational measure for the students. And as I told you, we had during the around maybe up to 4 months, we had like almost 7,000 kids which visiting our farm, and it was very, very good. Not only in the term of money, because also the money was good for this, because it was about €8 from European Union for every kids, for which was visited. But it was also very good for us as a farmer, because we teach them during the visiting in school about, let's say, the local products, the organic farming, the labels, how to choose the labels, the products in the supermarket. But it's also very important for us as a producer for the marketing, because sometimes when we was in the city and it was like a crowded place, the kids start to recognize us. You are the guy from the farm and I know you. And the kids, when was with the parents in the supermarket, they just discover our logo and they started to ask for the products from our organization. So it was amazing, and it still continue this kind of project, but it's very, very important. But there is also a risk. For example, what we had in 2023, a big risk, it was like that. The apple, which was produced in the village, like maybe 50 kilometers from the Brașov, from the city where we are, where we are living, was bring in the city because it was organic apple, and the city hall wanted to distribute to the kids in the school, and the kids from that village, because they don't care about the organic products and the quality, they had to eat apples from Poland. So it was very, sometimes it's very sad when we have this kind of example. Products from the local community are living in another community, and in your community you have to bring products from maybe like to 1,000 kilometers away. So we have to be careful with this. What we are working now about the green public procurement, it's about, let's say, now we are very focused to have this kind of products and, let's say, high quality products in the canteen, in the different hospital and in the public services, because it's very important for us to put the quality first, in fact, of the price. So this is all about short chain. Mihaela, can we make the next?
You don't see the next slide?
I see, just it was about green public procurement.
Okay, I'll try again.
And also enlarge.
Yes, but before. This is good
Yes,
now?
it's
Okay.
perfect. I don't know if everyone can see it.
Yes, but we don't see it in a presentation. It is always small, but now we see the role of local authorities.
I think you need to open full screen and then share.
I try again. Sorry, George.
Don't worry, that's why I asked you to help me.
Okay. So
I can help if you give me the presentation.
okay, I can send you. So Christy will try with the presentation.
Perfect. Thank you, Christy.
Okay, sorry for this delay, it's my fault. So another aspect of let's say what it means short chain and everything on this way is the role of local authorities. So local government play a crucial role in supporting short food supply chain by fostering and development of peasant markets and local gastronomy hubs. So in how we are started, because we have an agricultural cooperativa built 2021, just with young farmers, we need to organize a place for them to sell. So last year in August, we started a calendar, and we have every Saturday, like from 9 p.m. until 1 p.m., local producer market, and it's in a in the private places. And why we are using private places? Because sometimes when you are going to the, let's say, local city hall, you don't have full control when you want to select the producer. So in this way, because we are in a private place, we can keep a high standard of the products which are in this kind of markets. So Christy, if you want, you can open the link, and it's going to be like a short movie how looks our one of edition of our farmer market. Also, I'm gonna put the link on the chat, and who wants to see it can look into it. It's gonna be in YouTube.
Yes, we have no sound, I think.
And it's not only about the local food producer. Also, we started with the handcrafters, which are in the area, because also for them it's important to have access to the market. And we started in August last year with a group of 12 producers, and now we have around 35 producers which are participant every Saturday morning at this kind of event, and it's very, very good for them. And it's win-win, because when I say we win, I say win for the producer, but in the same time win for the local community, because they have access to the local products, high quality. They have good price for them because it's a short chain, and it's about like you have in every village we are returning after 1 month, because we are using 4 Saturdays per month. So it's very important to support this kind of local farmers market. And another way to bold the role of local authorities is about what is happening in Brașov. Brașov is one of the most important, let's say, touristic city in Romania. I hope my colleagues from Timișoara will not be angry on me. And for example, we have Christmas market. Christmas market, look at this picture, what it means Christmas market. And initially starting in November, it's ending in January, and it's about 40 days for this market. But the big problem is that the local producer and the local artisan are not in this kind of event. Why? Because it's a competition. And just an example, last year, for example, the house which prepare hot wine in the market, it paid like 34,000 euro rent for 40 days to be in this kind of market. And it's huge. And the small farmers and local farmers are not able to support this kind of rentals, one. And second, it's too much for them to be present 7 days by 7 for 40 days. And that's why sometimes we are angry. We, the local producer and the local, let's say, handcrafts and the local artisan, we are angry because what you're going to see and what you're going to discover in this kind of market, especially the Christmas market, is not the local image of the heritage. They are coming from all over the country, and we will not be angry because if the products are high quality. We are angry because the products are low quality, because they make the task for them is to make profit, and you make profit when you sell a cheap product with big added value. So we are not believing in this kind of market. That's why we like a little fight, and to demonstrate to the local public sector we organized by ourselves a small Christmas market, and we believe we have more success for the local producer because it was just 3 days concentrated, not 40 days with the big taxes. So this is happening not only in Romania, I think it's happening all over the Europe, and many times you can see it, the marketing and the labels and everything what you're going to discover in the market is it's coming from Brasov, it's local traditional Romanian foods, blah blah blah. But in the fact, what you're going to see in the back of this kind of events, they are not producer, they are, let's say, kind of traders which are just try to eat money from this kind of opportunity. And I think this was the last slide from my presentation. And if you have any question or if my English was not one of the best, just let me know and I will try to explain more about. So it was about, in my vision, what we have to concentrate about high quality, about the labels for quality, about the local procurement, green local procurement, access to the local markets, and the rules and everything, because you have to understand, as Christy said at the beginning, for example, the National Agency for the Food Safety have to understand exactly what is the profile and the size of the small farmers comparing with the big farmers, and sometimes we have the same law and the same regulation for the both of them.
So please, if you have questions or observation, remarks, if you agree or not with something presented by George.
I want to say something if
Please, Chris.
We've been very naive in the beginning, and we are sharing all the information. We were trying to do things like farmers market in Bucharest, the first peasant farmers market in Bucharest, in Piața Amzei. It's a very famous place in Bucharest. And we're trying to help small producers, but as soon as they notice that there is a way to earn more money, a lot of fake small producers were invented, and with the help with the food safety authorities for that market, they were in the market selling supermarket products as local produced sausages. Was one example that I'm aware of. This was 2 weekends with hand-picked producers from the country, and then on the third weekend, the food safety authorities already imposed us to allow certain people in the market. So even though I'm not a big fan of rules, strict rules, but I think rules are very important to keep the quality of the products or the services or the markets you want to organize. It's very important to make sure that you know the producer, you know the place, you know the products, and you allow him to sell the products because you have the history behind, and not accept people that you don't know.
Yes, and it's also very important to have the chance to meet the producer second time and the next time, because sometimes you meet, we have farmers market everywhere in all over the country, but sometimes let's say the unreal farmers or the producers, to call them like that, this weekend they are in Bucharest, and next weekend they are in maybe Timișoara, in Brasov, and you cannot track them, and you cannot find them like that. So we need this kind of to be careful with everything.
Thank you. Sergio, you want to say something?
Yes, I think my question was already anticipated, but I was thinking to address both of the speakers the same, question, addressing in some way the elephant in the room, and I'm not referring to Dracula and Transylvania mythology, but to this question regarding short food supply chains, because there is very often people are saying that maybe it's not the connection between geographical indications, the territory, and the food. It's not necessarily there. It's maybe a form of mystique or a marketing campaign. So how we can approach this and consolidate the capacity for the consumers to understand, to recognize the authentic and the real product from short food supply chains.
I will start and maybe Christy will continue. Yeah, when we talk about short chain, we have to thinking in two ways. First, it's about the area and the distance, like distance kilometers between the product and the place where it's sold. And we don't have an official, let's say, term for this, but we have in some documents like 70 kilometers is recommended to have from the place where is produced the food to the place where it's sold, like around 75 kilometers. So this is about the distance, and this is about the number of chain. And because also a short chain is not only about the distance, it's also about the number of the chains which is over there, the actor on the chain. So in my vision, a short chain, it's that one which have just producer and the consumer over there. So we are happy because most of in my case, most of our producer, they produce, let's talk about the cheese. They produce the milk, they transform the milk in the cheese, and they are selling by themselves. So this is a way. Of course, a big producer like who I have in my area, Olympus, which is the biggest dairy factory in Romania, and they cannot be in the short chain because they are not produced. First of all, they are not producing milk. They collect milk for all over the country. They are not breeding the sheep, the goat, or the cow. So they are collecting the milk from all over the country. And of course, maybe you can say there is only 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers from the Olympus factory to the Brașov city. But don't forget about the first condition. You have to be short actors, numbers on the chain.
Yes, and also I will add that I think it's very important to make the personal link between consumers and producers. I think this is very important to create a chain of trust. And also, I think we should try to avoid, we learn it on the hard way. You know, we are trying to promote products and going to all the fairs in Bucharest, Brașov, all over the place. And I don't think this is the way to go forward. There were a lot of people saying, please come to Bucharest, and because people are interested, they want to sell this product, they want to buy these products. I think they should come to the area and they should buy the products from the area if they really like them. Otherwise, traveling with small scale, if you have small scale producers and they need to go all over the place, then I think the margins are not there anymore. The cost for transport, cost for accommodation, cost for, I don't know, space, table and so on, they are above the production cost. So there are no margins anymore. And again, if we talk about small scale production, so small scale means locally. You like the place, you go there, you eat from there, you buy from there. That's it. According to my experience, I think this is the way to go forward.
Yes, and also like we are a producer in our area. For example, for us as a chefs in the area, we are using the local resources. We have access to the local fields. So for us, it's going to be like a duty, first of all, to sell and to call the local consumer. And after this, if it's going to be like something more to get out of the area and sell, let's say, for example, Bucharest. But as say Christy, I think our duty is to answer for the question which we have in the local community.
I think
And
I saw
I-
a raised hand somewhere, or Marius was raising hand, maybe.
Well, just a confirmation. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I wanted to emphasize in the intervention of George the last examples that he presented, because when we discussed about the intervention, if you remember with the Christmas market, I think it's very important in this example, not only the fact that we don't have in this kind of occasion small producers or authentic products on the market, but also he talks about the vision of local authorities. Because when you organize a market in this kind of way, you like authorities want to win money, because if you create this kind of competition where the companies, food productions, companies can access and compete for the place in order to sell in the public space products. So you think that the most important is to obtain a very good price for each space. But maybe you can gain this kind of money, but you don't use this opportunity to develop local community, to encourage local products, and to create for consumers or tourists an authentic experience. So I think it's also a way of how the public authorities is using the public space. And it's not for social and to create the relation between rural and urban area, because this is our thematic, but also an occasion to gain as much as possible in terms of economic revenues. So I wanted to thank Georgia for this. And maybe it's very different from what is happens in Italy or in France, because you had another context, another experience. But I think that intervention, also intervention of Christie, can emphasize this in 20 years, how much of things that had to build and rebuild. Because Christie also talk about training, about creating trust, creating networking, to be an intermediary actor between the small producers and legislators. All these kind of things were important in order to develop, in fact, this sector, and to support small producers and short supply chain. And as I announced you, we had in mind to have a third intervention of Sergiu about some activities that we organized here in Timișoara. Also, Georgia and Christie know La Paz Festival, Slowing Down Festival. In fact, it's an event that promote and was created in order to promote local products. We use a set of criteria to select small producers and to use the event as educational tools. Because in fact, with the festival, this was the idea.
I could try in 5 minutes maybe to make a speed
Please,
presentation.
Sergio, if you want to share some ideas about this, it will be wonderful.
Okay, let's see. So it's visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So La Paz is, as Mihaela said, it's a short term festival because it's only 3 days long, 2.5, but starts from the community engagement and also works a lot to build consumer awareness regarding food production and distribution issues, but also environment and, of course, connection between food and culture. So we think La Paz being more like a manifesto festival for sustainable development in this way because has important emphasis on the educational program and also making more fair and accessible the act, the cultural act per se. So I have a short movie about the festival, but I'll come back to this. So I only want to say about our experience. We had 3 editions, one of which was in the pandemic times, and we did it online. We connected this festival with the program for the European Capital of Culture in Timișoara, and as a funding sources we received, we accessed public money through the city hall and the county council, but also it's a festival that at least partially based on the contributions from the artisans. And in the educational program, we had more than 4,000 students, peoples involved in the program for promoting responsible consumption, almost 500 educational activities about responsible consumption and food waste reduction and other aspects. Almost 60 professors involved directly in training sessions and educational activities, almost 30 schools involved, more than 2,500 parents involved, and also more than 200 volunteers from the students and professors. So I will try to present also the short film we had online. Let's see how I will do this. I think I will share it again just to find. Okay. So La Paz means slowing down or just walking at pace, walking pace.
Thank you, Sergio, for this effort, and was a present for Solidarius and the FISC team, because maybe you remember that was a moment prepared together with you. The sounds was Paparude, and was prepared by Italian friends, and sing by different people from Italy, from France during the festival. So it was like an instrument to promote cultural cooperation. We create from festival an instrument to promote solidarity, because you saw the Ukrainian communities present having cooking events and other different activities that were included in the festival. So this was for this evening, for the last session. Sorry, you are almost in time, but we had here very passionate person about the thematic. So if you still have a moment of patience, I will send in chat, of course, the feedback questionnaire for today. Having in mind that this is our last training session, and in September, I think we'll organize European webinar in order to present all the synthesis of the informations and tools and resources that we produced and founded during all these 9 training sessions organized together with Solidarius and UFISC. So you have in chat the feedback questionnaire. Thank you again, Christy, George, Sergio, Nora, Soana, and UFISC team to be together on this. Thank you for your participation. And we hope to stay in contact and to see again in the autumn for the event, the last event in this project. So
Yes, Michaela,
please, Nora.
If I kindly can add, just would like to share our link in the chat, maybe for those who hasn't still registered to our Moodle platform, because I think that could remain the space, digital space, where we can still continue this dialogue and this sharing we started with our webinar. And also the link to our policy rubric. It is growing with different tips, suggestions from our countries, not only at national level, but also international and local. So if you have something you want to share, add in this policy rubric, please. I've seen many suggestions in the presentation we had today, and thank you also from my side. And well, that's it. Thank you. And for those who will be there, see you next 2 months. Yeah, in Romania. And thank you.
Have fun. And if you have time and pass our area, don't hesitate and stop and see our office, and then we can have a tour around.
You said.
Oh.
It's a promise.
I never retract my words.
Bye.
Thank you
See
again.
you.
Bye. Take care very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a nice evening. Bye bye. Thank you very much.